Robert's Rules of Order. Presented by Mary Villison Tuifua. Chair of Events, Board Member. Simplify Robert's Rules of Order. 6 Basics of Robert's Rules. Categories of motions. Steps for making a motion. How to handle points of order. Robert's Rules of Order cheat sheet. Tips and reminders for board chairs. What is Robert's Rules? Robert's Rules is a framework that is comprised of a set of codes and rules of ethics that helps groups hold orderly meetings that allow the majority to rule while allowing minority voices to be heard. There are 4 primary types of motions in Robert's Rules of Order. Main motions. Subsidiary motions. Incidental motions. Renewal motions. Main motions. Formal proposal. Made in a deliberative assembly. To bring before the assembly for consideration and action. It takes precedence over nothing and yields to all privileges, incidental and subsidiary motions. Subsidiary motions. Motions that assist the assembly in treating or disposing of a main motion. They modify the main question or affect its consideration and disposition. Examples for board chairs. Laying it on the table. Ending the debate by moving to the previous question. Limiting or extending time for debate. Postponing the motion. Incidental motions. Motions that arise while other motions are being considered. They must be disposed of before the main motion or subsidiary motion can be acted upon. Directly connected to other pending motions or questions. Motion to renewal. Motions or questions. Request for an order that was previously refused. It must be based on new facts, circumstances, or law. There is no time limit for this request. A motion for leave to renew must be identified specifically as such. Be based upon new facts not offered on the prior motion that would change the prior determination. Demonstrate that there has been a change in the law that would change the prior determination. Contain reasonable justification for the failure to present such facts on the prior motion. Robert's Rules of Order for Meetings. General standard for how nonprofit boards, committees, and other established groups govern discussions and decision-making. Most nonprofits and groups use Robert's Rules. It ensures order and creates a ripe environment for productivity. Parliamentary procedure can be any set of rules and guidelines a group formally establishes to govern themselves, with Robert's Rules of Order being the most common type. The goal is to set forth the order of discussions and ultimately get to a place where all group members can agree on what they want to accomplish or how to move forward. By using an established set of rules and guidelines, members of the group can reach a consensus in a respectful, collegial manner. The basics of Robert's Rule 6. Board members will use basic rules for making decisions at most meetings. Motion. I move to. Amend a motion. I move to amend the motion on the floor. Commit. I second the motion. Question. I call the question. Adjourn. I move to adjourn. Motion. I move to. A member makes a motion to propose an action or make a decision by saying, I move to. Another member must second the motion by saying, I second the motion. Once someone seconds the motion, the group votes on the motion. It passes by a majority vote or a quorum depending on the rules and the bylaws. Motion to amend. Members use this process to change a motion and can do so by stating, I move to amend the motion on the floor. Again, this motion must be seconded and voted upon. Commit. I second that motion. Members use this type of motion to transfer a motion to a committee. As with other types of motions, it must be seconded and voted upon. Once it moves to a committee, the committee presents a report on the committed motion at the next meeting. Question. Members say, I call the question to end a debate or discussion. The motion must be seconded and voted upon without further discussion. A call for the question requires a 2/3 majority vote to pass. At this point, the members must immediately vote on the motion on the floor. Adjourn. I move to adjourn. This refers to moving to end the meeting. A member would say, I move to adjourn. Then another member would second the motion. If the majority then votes to adjourn, the meeting is over. Out of the ordinary. Board members can look up the rules during the meeting. When you store a copy of Robert's Rules in your board management system, it is quickly and easily accessible if there is a question on proper meeting protocols. Robert's Rules Cheat Sheet. Requesting the floor. Board members must discuss one issue at a time to keep order in the boardroom. The board chair should only allow one person to speak at a time. Any member who wants to make a motion must request the floor and be granted it before speaking. Categories of motions. Main motion introduces a new item. Subsidiary motion changes or affect how to handle a main motion. Vote on this before the main motion. Privileged motion brings up an urgent or essential matter unrelated to pending business. Incidental motion questions procedure of other motions. Motion to table kills a motion. Motion to postpone delays a vote, can reopen debate on the main motion. Steps for making a motion. Motion. A member rises or raises a hand to signal the chairperson. Second, another member seconds the motion. Restate motion. The chairperson restates the motion. Debate. The members debate the motion. Vote. The chairperson restates the motion and then first asks for affirmative votes and then negative votes. Announce the vote. The chairperson announces the result of the vote and any instructions. Objections? If the board is in obvious agreement, the chairperson may save time by stating, if there is no objection, we will adopt the motion to. Then wait for any objections. Then say, hearing no objections, state the motion is adopted. And then state any instructions. If a member objects, first ask for a debate, then vote, and then announce the vote. How to handle points of order. Certain situations need attention during the meeting, but they don't require a motion, second, debate, or voting. It's permissible to state a point during a meeting where the chairperson needs to handle a situation right away. Board members can declare a point of order, point of information, point of inquiry, or point of personal privilege. Points in Robert's Rules of Order. Point of order. A member draws attention to a breach of rules, improper procedure, breaching of established practices. Point of information. A member can ask for a point of information if they want more information on a motion. A point of information should not be used as a means for the person calling for a point of information to present information. Point of inquiry. A member may use a point of inquiry to ask for clarification in a report to make better voting decisions. Point of personal privilege. A member may use a point of personal privilege to address the physical comfort of the setting, such as temperature or noise. Members may also use it to address the accuracy of published reports or the accuracy of a member's conduct. Points in Robert's Rules of Order. Asterisk note. A member may make a motion to reconsider something that was already disposed of. However, the reconsidered motion may not be subsequent/y reconsidered. A motion to reconsider must be made during the same meeting and can extend to a meeting that lasts for more than one day. Board chairs. Robert's Rules of Order was developed to ensure that meetings are fair, efficient, democratic, and orderly. A skilled chairperson allows all members to voice their opinions in an orderly manner so that everyone in the meeting can hear and be heard. The following tips and reminders will help chairpersons run a successful and productive meeting without being run over or running over others. Follow the agenda to keep the group moving toward its goals. Let the group do its work, don't overcommand. Board meeting agenda. Call to order. Introductions of guests. Minutes of last meeting review. Treasurer's report. Old business. New business. Good of the order announcements. Call of the order. Determination of quorum. 50% of board plus 1. If none, the meeting can be continued with recommendations for action by the board if approval is needed but a quorum is not present. Another option is for board to send out the motion by email and request a response for approval. If approved, copies of emails with board members' vote must be kept on file. Approve email approval or disapproval sent in. Minutes of the last meeting. Review and ask for corrections, omissions, or additions. Requires a motion to approve as presented or as corrected. Treasurer's report. Treasurer reviews report. Response to questions. No approval is required. If there are any errors or corrections, the treasurer should submit revised version at next meeting equals that should be noted in the minutes. Old business. These should be reports only. No approval is required unless an event or project budget or budget items needs to be approved. Other major considerations may or may not require approval. Motion is submitted by a member of the board, not the president, but the president can request a board member to submit a motion. President asks for a second, and then it can be discussed. At the end of the discussion, should be limited. The president calls for the vote. President only votes to break ties. New business. For each item, approval should be made. Information on the new business item/project can be presented initially, but for a formal discussion or vote, the presenting board member needs to make a motion, then second. Discussion takes place, then the president calls for the vote. Board meeting agenda. Call to order. Introductions of guests. Minutes of last meeting review. Treasurer's report. Old business. New business. Good of the order announcements. Robert's Rules of Order. Thank you for joining. Presented by Mary Villison Tuifua. Chair of Events, Board Member.